Pedals and Effects with Scott Schreiner, Jonathan Hischke, and we have 4 pedals that Jonathan's going to tell us what we're going to look at today.
All right. We have Dwarfcraft, Baby Thunder. Over here we got the Wounded Paw Battering Ram. We have the Wren and Cuff Tall Front Russian. And we have the Artifacts Big Green Pie, Muff Clone. And these are ones that Scott has used over
Except for those Muff Clunk.
Ah, the Muff Clone.
That's a ringer.
Yeah, so we're just putting that up against another pedal trying to do the same trick. So we'll see how that goes. Let's talk about the Dwarfcraft.
Let's talk about the Dwarfcraft. The Dwarfcraft really jumps out in a band situation, and it's one of those rare pedals that when I've hit in rehearsal or live, that it gets other band members' attention, and they turn their heads and go, "What is that?" And I love to disturb my bandmates. It's one of my favorite things. And I'm just kidding. And you know, it's like I'll sit home and try all these pedals. It's all great and good, and then I put them up in rehearsal or at the live, you know, at a show, and that's where we know it's up for real.
Right.
It's a whole different animal, man. What sounds good in the music store, what sounds good in the band. So that's a little bit of more of a distorted kind of feedbacky situation for more blazing, like, okay, I'm going to leave the traditional bass player mode and be a screamer.
Which is a great place to put yourself.
So that's fun. So I get a chance to do that once in a while.
And the Wounded Paw was what you had previously? Is that
I think we had done a smaller tour and I couldn't have as many pedals. I'd like to have 3 or 4 different fuzzes on deck if possible, but if I couldn't and I could only have maybe 1 or 2, then this would be in big contention because it's got just a sweet kind of overdrive to just give that a little bit of grind. And then if you want to blow people's heads off, then you got another button that you can take to stun, which I think is very useful. Meat and potatoes, good. If I could only have like 1 pedal, it probably wouldn't be that.
Hey, this is Fuzz Wars.
No, it's really sweet, you know, in a limited situation, and it's very useful.
All right, let's give this one a listen first.
Okay.
And we'll switch over.
Here's a clean.
All right. All right, here's the first overdrive.
That's both.
There we go.
There we go. Don't want to jump the gun.
Sounds excellent.
Yeah, that's fun. That's a fun pedal.
Yeah, that was great. Let's try this one.
Okay.
Similar flavor.
Yep.
This one does something special. In addition, useful to some people. It's feedback mode, which adds an extra level of just kind of bizarreness. Yeah, mayhem to it. Exactly.
Which I enjoy.
Yeah.
And it'll really annoy people, which is really fun for me too.
Everyone needs that. Otherwise, a little bit.
Like bass players aren't annoying enough. High five. Holy shit. Possibilities are destructive.
Yes, Dwarfcraft kills it again. I love it.
But yeah, at the end of the song when everybody's doing this thing, like, you know, I want to have the last say.
And
A lot of times, all I gotta do is just bend down and just go, happy birthday. I win.
get the last part.
Yeah. Or when everybody like drops their guitar on the stage and walks off,
Yeah.
pain will happen.
All right, so I think we should step into the Sotec cloners.
Yeah, let's talk about Subtext for a minute, because we know you're a fan.
Yeah, I'm a fan, basically.
You use them a lot?
I've been a fan of Sotec pedals for a long time, and I owe a lot of my knowledge of pedals to Juan Alderete, the master, if you ask me. And I don't know, he's just been that guy where it's like, hey, dude, what do you think about this or what do you think about that? And he's always been really free with the knowledge and helping guys out. So I got to give it up to Juan. And then a lot of times he'll say, man, you got to meet this guy Jonathan, or I got to talk to Jonathan. And I was thinking about doing this thing, but I got to check with Jonathan. He's kind of the guy. So I got both these guys in the room at the same time. So long story short, I was seeking a old school Sotec Fuzz Big Muff. And it had to be so old that the paint was all flying off. And I found one that was really kick-ass. Used it on the Weezer Red Album when we did Pork and Beans and Troublemaker. And the producer was just like, oh, that's slamming. These things, you just go like this, and he like did this and this. And that pedal won out of all my fuzzes. So trying to take it on the road was quite difficult, as I found that they're really touchy and they are very not true bypass. And if you're gonna, EQ your whole rig around it, you could do that if it's always gonna, be there. But man, it just failed too much. So I was looking for something that I could take on the road that would be solid and that was true bypass, because I don't feel like running loop bypasses and all this kind of complicated stuff. The simpler the better, believe it or not, for me. And plus, it's only got 3 knobs, which is pretty sweet too. So this pedal I got first, the Red and Cuff Tall Russian, and it just, when engaged, makes the bass bigger to me. It's like the only fuzz that I've played that makes more fucking bass in the room. And that's always been like, oh, the low end drop, the low end, you can't suck my low end. I'm like, that's all I play. Everything I play is around based on the lowest note I have, pretty much. So I love having the room shake. I don't want to hit something and have it shake less. I want it to shake more. Right. So that pedal kind of does it for me.
Blast that thing off.
All right, let's do this.
See, it even makes me want to play better.
Which is the key, man. I mean, how many times, it's when you're inspired to play better and come up with music lines and whatever, from the pedal. And that, when you get that one pedal, it's endless how much your creativity gets unlocked and things just go crazy.
Well, I was going to say, I've been using this on the new Hacker record a lot, this particular pedal. We've been trying to find one that, the tone I use in that band is often kind of sitting underneath a lot of layers of everything else, like punching through under the kick drums and everything, and couldn't find anything to sustain or distort that kind of augmented what was already there. In order to kick it up or to have it become stronger, it was really hard to find something to do that in a dirty way. And this one was the winner, like far and away. Like we tried 15 pedals trying to get this thing, and that's the winner. So, right with you on that.
Well, let's try the clone that's sitting next to it, see where it's at.
Okay.
All right, start out. I'm going to try to play the same thing, so to give everything a good shake.
All right. Not quite as much sustain or as much oomph, but it's probably a workable.
I would say absolutely.
I like it.
It's not making me salivate.
Right. Yeah. This one has a special something in it. I don't know what it is, but a little bit more oomph.
Yeah.
The big green seems to be a little more throaty. I think if we, if you do an EQ at the end of it and maybe compensated for what it's lacking,
Yeah.
Yeah, but then once you start doing that, man, you're into a whole nother world. Like if I had to have an EQ for every pedal that didn't sound right, then I'd have a line.
Amen. and you're just like, you gotta go spend more loot on an EQ pedal, and yeah.
It's like, here are these pedals, and every one of them has a special EQ for what it doesn't do.
Well, that's why we call this Fuzz Wars, because we're putting these guys head to head.